What's up, everybody? This is Matt Barron, the Chief Traffic Officer at EliteMarketingPro.com. I just want to bring to you guys something awesome that's going on inside right now. So we're at the No Excuses Live, day 2 of the summit, and our very own Tyson Zahner is on stage talking about using storytelling in your marketing. So I'm going to take you inside this private talk he's giving inside the NES, on the NES stage, and show you guys, give you guys a little bit of clip on the magic that's going on inside. Let's go check it out.
Without telling people what to do, it helps them to decide on their own what actions they should take. Stories can establish credibility, and I'll show you how that can be done either by telling your own or by telling someone else's story. Stories allow us to relax our listener. A lot of times there's a tension, especially when we're trying to sell. People think, all right, what's this person about to sell me? By telling a story, we can get them to put their defenses down, and we can get them to be receptive to our sales message when we're ready to make our offer. It engages both the heart and the mind, and we need both. And the problem is, a lot of people are trying to sell with the mind alone. Logic, facts, figures, techno-babble. Here's how many ways our comp plan pays out. And they're leaving out the heart, the emotion, the desire that really moves people to action. They're not pitchy. Facebook loves stories, both the platform and the user. And I'm going to show you, as I said, some examples of how I've utilized stories on Facebook. Plus, stories can be used in ads to help you get around compliance issues. For example, you can't say on Facebook, do you suffer from back pain? Because that freaks people out. Hold on, how the hell does Facebook know I have back pain? I don't want to be on this platform anymore, right? But what you can say is, let me tell you how bad my life was when I couldn't even get out of bed because of my lower back pain. You can tell your own story or someone else's story, and it can help you get around compliance issues, as opposed to saying, do you suffer from back pain, which will get you in a whole heap of trouble. It positions you as a value creator and as a problem solver and as a consultant instead of a salesperson. And finally, stories allow your buyers to open up. If you're talking to them one-on-one, they will be more likely to share their own story of struggle with you. Or if you're not talking with them one-on-one, they will see themselves in your story, which will move them to action. So ultimately, I believe the number one reason why stories are so powerful is because they allow us to persuade and influence and sell to people without it feeling like a pitch or a promotion. And I believe the very first slide of my presentation said that I'm going to show you one of the most effective ways to sell and influence and persuade while simultaneously making people love you and remember you. How many of you guys would like to sell and have people like you at the same time? That's exactly what we're going to learn how to do. So let me give you, obviously I'm not going to read this to you, but I'm curious, how many of you have ever read this poem by Livingston Larned called Father Forgets? Has anybody ever heard of this before? Okay, so I just want to use this as an illustration of how powerful stories are. And by the way, I know you can't read this. I'm going to give you, here in a few minutes, a link that you can get all of my slides for my presentation, along with, because I won't be able to read my entire stories on my Facebook ads, you can download those as well, plus 2 other bonuses. So don't feel like you have to take pictures during the slide presentation if you don't want to. I'll give you a link to get all of that. So, to make this point, this is a story about a father who is very hard on his son. And this was published back in like the 1930s, and every time, like, I'm not a crier. I'm not like an emotional, wear my heart on my sleeve kind of guy. It's not like a macho thing. It's just not the way I am. Like, every time I read this, it moves me to tears. And I think it's because I see myself in the story of this dad who is talking about how he's so hard on his son, and he's constantly telling his son, pull up your, well, this is obviously years ago when this was written, but pull up your stockings and hold your shoulders back when you say goodbye to me when I get on the train. And when I came home from work, you had this timid look in your eye that you wanted to come in and say hello, and I snapped at you and said, what is it that you want? Because I was busy reading my newspaper. And when you threw your arms around me and you hugged me, I realized how hard I was being on you. And when I looked at you in your bed at night, and I realized, I'm trying to measure you by the yardstick of my own years. You're just a boy. And when I read that, I see things in myself with my own relationship with my kids and my son. And my question to you, how many of you guys have kids? By show of hands. How many of you see yourself in that story? I do. I see myself in that story. Is there anybody here, let me just ask this, how effective would Mr. Larned's message have been if he said, all right, dads, listen up. Let me tell you why you're all being crappy dads, why you need to change your ways and change the way you treat your kids. How well would that have gone over? Wah-wah, right? People are like, don't you tell me how to raise my kids, right? So the problem is when we try to tell people what to do, when we tell them what we want them to do and what they should believe, this is a great quote by Seth Godin. People don't believe what you tell them. They rarely believe what you show them, but they always believe what they tell themselves. And that story, like Father Forgets, it allows me to tell myself something about my life that I should be moved to change. In fact, I would argue, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, probably the most influential man who's ever lived, how did he get every single story, every single point across? Parables, stories, right? And so when Jesus taught, it was not, let me tell you why you should be a good neighbor. It was, let me tell you about a certain man who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, right? And if he had said, let me tell you why you should be a good neighbor, nobody would have listened. But because he said, let me tell you about a story of a man who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, everyone in that audience knew of someone who had been robbed or hit up by thieves on that dangerous Jerusalem turnpike. And so they were able to see themselves in that story, empathize with that person, and in the story they said, I don't want to be like that Levite. Walked on the other side of the road. I don't want to be like that priest. What a bunch of jerks they were. I want to be like the Good Samaritan. And so it was a way for Jesus to get his point across, and you and I can be that influential as well if we simply tell the right stories. So why does all of this matter to us as marketers, as business owners, as people who are trying to sell things? Well, this, in my opinion, is what our prospects' wallets look like. You ever felt like this? You're like, please, I've got great products. You should buy them. They will help you. They're like, nope, chained, locked, and I'm throwing away the key. Would you guys like to know the combination to that lock? I know it. I'm going to give it to you. Would you like to have it? So I'm going to give you the combination to this lock. So, but before I give it to you, here's what we need to understand. I want you to think of what your marketing message as a four-legged stool or a four-legged table. Okay?
Well, that was Tyson Zahner on stage talking about storytelling in your marketing. And if you guys want to get access to those slides and those story examples that he's actually putting up there, click on the link below by this video, in the comments of this video, and right above this video, and you'll be able to get access to the No Excuses 8 recordings. You'll be able to get everything that Tyson's saying, including the rest of his presentation, where he's going to reveal his exact story formulas that has made him a successful marketer and grown several six-figure businesses. Look forward to seeing you guys at the rest of No Excuses 8, and hope you do well.